Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track's a great one for fans of pure speed, and the average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Aiden Jackson lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Piastri, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Sainz, Albon, Leclerc, and Nico Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, Ocon, Fernando Alonso, and Bortoleto, Antonelli, Behrman, Lance Stroll, and Liam Lawson, Gasly, Mayer, Hadjar, and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
can now use DRS. DRS now available. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. 对，就是这样，你们可真棒！
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come.